Welcome to the course on the mind healing ingredients, brought to you by the online healing site. So what are the ingredients needed for mind healing? There are 3 core ingredients, and each one of those has some subtopics underneath them that we'll cover in the slides ahead. The first is belief in the divine, in ourselves, and in mind healing itself, or divine healing. The second is knowledge of divine or universal truths. What are they? We'll go into that. How do they work? 3 is a spiritual practice, the vehicle or the method that you choose to use to understand yourself, to seek divine guidance, as a vehicle for the mind to perform the mind healing. So belief. Why is the ability to believe so important to mind healing? Believing is the first step to any successful outcome, whether it be spiritual or otherwise. Believing creates the target that we'll shoot for, the desired outcome. If we don't have a target, what exactly are we aiming for? What are our goals? We create in accordance with our beliefs. In fact, we do nothing outside of whatever our core belief system is. That's why we spend so much time on this site trying to address what that is. Is it working for us? Many studies have shown, like in the case of the placebo effect, for instance, where there will be a blind study or a double-blind study where some patients are given a pill that actually has some medicine in it, and others are given an effect of a sugar pill. And the outcome of those studies have shown that a certain percentage, sometimes a large percentage, of the people who were given the sugar pill actually realized or demonstrated the actual effect of what they were told that the pill was going to do. That's called the placebo effect. It could be a pill, it could be something else. It could be acupuncture, it could be a belief in nutrition, it could be whatever, a belief in a certain doctor, a belief in a certain way of thinking. It could be anything, anything that one would use, hypnosis. That oftentimes is what facilitates the outcome or the result. Went the wrong way there for a minute. So what do you believe you are? Do you believe you're divine, human? Are you both? Do you believe you're capable, incapable? You're smart, you're not smart? Whatever you believe is your point of power, is where you'll act from. Drives everything else in your life. Like we said, your core belief system dictates what you'll be able to create, how you react in a given situation, and a whole host of things. If you believe you're divine, what are the qualities of the divine? And do you believe you possess those qualities? Is the divine accessible to you at all times? Is it conditional? If you behave, the divine will treat you well. You know, you see this image of some kind of outside divine entity. Is the divine all powerful? Is the divine strong? Has all power? Is the divine all loving, all knowledgeable? Does the divine have a realm of divine ideas and divine answers to any problem? Does the divine power control the universe in which you live? Is there some order to it, or is it haphazard? Is it one way today, a different way tomorrow? If all of this is true, why would the divine not enable us to make use of all that is good, such as healing, amongst other desirable things? These are questions that we must ask and answer for ourselves. If the divine is truly all-powerful and all-knowing, why would we not have at our disposal all we need to heal, all we need to experience love and joy and peace and all the other things that most humans seek? If you are divine in actuality, if that is who we really are, and you're able to tap into your divine nature, What flaws do you believe you have? What limitations do you believe you have being divine? Why would you not be able to avail yourself to all the divine qualities and abilities? Again, another thing to consider. A lot of this course is about you maybe taking some notes, hopefully, and going back, reviewing this video again, and determining for yourself, how is that you feel? How is it that you feel about this? What are your answers to this? Where do you fall? If you're demonstrating a perceived lack in one or more places in your life today, what is your reaction to that? If you're demonstrating a lack of funds to pay your bills, or you have a chronic illness, or you have an emotional shortfall, do you place your faith in that? Is that demonstration something that you believe in? Do you believe in only what your eyes can see, or do you leave room for something beyond the senses, much more powerful and effective, in fact? So, some people have a core belief system, and you can tell what it is because they say, I'll believe it when I see it. You've all heard that before. Well, if that's how you operate, then that tells us that you're very rooted in this world. And that's okay. That's a choice that everybody has to make. That might be working for that person. That's okay. But some of us believe in things that our eyes cannot see, believe in things that we can somehow experience beyond the senses. And we're going to get a bit into that when we talk about the vehicles that we can use for mind healing. The second core area you might remember from the first slide was knowledge of divine and universal truths. Universal or divine truths, and I'll use a bunch of different words for this interchangeably: laws, principles, divine truths, universal truths, what have you. They are, in fact, laws and principles that govern the way the universe works. Master teachers like Buddha, like Jesus, Muhammad, have been trying to teach us about these principles for thousands and thousands of years. They are unchanging. They can be relied upon to bring about a certain outcome. They are not unlike the physical laws of gravity, mathematics, physics, just to name a few. These laws have a certain way of working that is unchanging in this universe. If you use division, if you use Ohm's law, there's a predictable result that will be gotten every time somebody uses that law. It doesn't matter when they use it, doesn't matter who uses it, that's how it works. So why are these laws and principles, these divine laws and principles and truths, important to us? If you understand the laws and how they work, you can start to bring about a certain result. This is the same as using a formula to solve a math problem, and we just spoke about that. How do divine laws and truths work? What part do we play? Aware of it or not, we are constantly interacting with divine law. Even as we speak, even as you watch this, you are interacting with divine law. We interact with these laws at the level of causation, or the level of cause, and then an effect is brought into demonstration as a result. And that's always based on how the laws work. That's why it's so important to understand that, yes, you are interacting with them, like it or not, like the result or not, and there is a certain way that they work. How do we interact? We use our mind to access these laws. All that we can do with our mind: think thoughts, visualize a scene, hum a tune, become angry, feel loving, for good or for bad, however we'd like to label that if we're into labeling, is how we feed or drive these laws to create or demonstrate. You can think of the laws, I like this analogy, as a computer program, right? And we are the programmer. So you might use Microsoft Word. Well, that's just a program. It's very powerful, and there's many, many things it can do. Some things we use, some things we don't. But we have to know how to use that program to be able to print out a document, right? To be able to read a document. It's really very similar to that. Examples. You might be saying, okay, so what are some of these divine truths? Let's really talk about it. You might have heard of the sowing and reaping law or principle. What you sow, you'll reap. So what you plant, you'll get the harvest from. Mind or action. Mind action, rather. The law of mind action. The thoughts you hold in mind produce after their kind. This is one that we'll focus in on very acutely to be able to rework, if we choose to rework, our belief system. Because it's the thoughts that we hold that are both indicative of and program and can reprogram our belief system. Very important. And then the golden rule. And you'll know these by various different names, but the golden rule: treat others the way you want to be treated, or said another way, the way you treat others is the way you will be treated. And in other teachings and courses, we'll go into this more and more. So, the third pillar, or the third ingredient, a spiritual practice is the method you choose to commune with your divine self. Meditation, prayer, chanting, contemplation, you might know of others. Whatever fits that definition is what we would consider a spiritual practice. It's important to allow your formal spiritual practice to be active in the other areas of your day. So after you're done sitting on the mat, if you meditate that way, remember, we are making use of the spiritual laws and principles every waking moment of the day, whether we are aware of it or not.